All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. We're going to take a fleeting, incredibly chaotic 60-second interaction from a live stream, and we're going to deconstruct exactly what happens when the audience decides to take control. Because, well, if you spend any time watching live digital content, you know that the barrier between the creator and the audience is literally razor thin. It's live, it's totally unpredictable, and sometimes that fourth wall doesn't just break, it completely shatters. So today, we're looking at a pretty fascinating source transcript. It's a real-time confrontation between a major live streamer and a vocal critic who just happened to be in the exact same room. We're putting this rapid-fire exchange under the microscope, really trying to understand the exact mechanics of what goes down when a digital creator's real-world environment gets hijacked by the very internet culture they helped build.
So, out of absolutely nowhere, we are plunged directly into the conflict. A bystander throws out a totally unprovoked, highly personal opening insult. According to the transcript, it starts with this hater just flat out saying, "What, this game's almost as boring as your streams." And the streamer is clearly taken aback, right? He actually repeats the insult out loud, almost like he has to process it, saying, "This game is as boring as my streams, really?" Then he shoots back a sarcastic "Thank you, appreciate it." What we're witnessing here is this crazy, immediate collision of two worlds. A comment that you'd normally see safely typed behind a screen in some chat box is suddenly being spoken directly to the streamer's face. It's jarring, it's super abrupt, and it completely derails the whole broadcast.
Okay, moving into section 1, the initial provocation, analyzing the hater's opening strategy. Let's really break down the tactics used here, because, trust me, this wasn't just some random insult. It was actually highly calculated.
Right off the bat, the hater justifies their insult by claiming the stream needs more energy. Now, this acts as a direct challenge to the streamer's entire loud, energetic persona. Think about why this specific critique is just so lethal. If you're a streamer and your entire brand is built on being hyperactive, loud, physically expressive, being told you need more energy is basically the ultimate invalidation of your hard work. It's not just a simple, "Hey, I don't like you." It's saying you are failing at the one specific thing you're actually trying to be known for. The hater immediately identified the creator's core identity and just struck right at the foundation of it. It's a targeted strike, clearly designed to provoke a reaction.
And that brings us to section 2, relinquishing the microphone, an unconventional defense mechanism. Because instead of just arguing louder, the streamer employs this really fascinating defense tactic, kicking off the most pivotal shift of this whole interaction.
This perfectly illustrates an exact escalation of power. The streamer challenges the hater to entertain, demands they do better, and then, literally, hands over the microphone. The transcript shows the streamer firing back with, "How about you entertain my stream? How about you take over the stream? I want to see you do better." And then he drops the magic words. "Matter of fact, take the mic." "Yeah, bro, take the mic." I mean, this is an incredibly risky, highly psychological move. The streamer is basically calling the hater's bluff. The logic is, if it's so easy, and if I'm so boring, you do it. By physically handing over the mic, the streamer weaponizes the pressure of a live audience. He's betting that the hater is going to freeze up when suddenly tasked with performing for thousands of people. It's this rapid, totally spontaneous test of authority.
But, well, here's where the plan backfires. Section 3, the ultimate insult, weaponizing pop culture and personal critiques. Once that microphone is passed and the power dynamic totally flips, the hater doesn't hold back at all. They don't freeze, they escalate.
So the hater launches this brilliant two-pronged attack. On one hand, they weaponize a massive global sports rivalry, and on the other, they deliver these highly specific, really personal critiques about the streamer's dancing. First, they grab the mic and immediately yell, "Messi is better than Ronaldo." In the context of global internet culture, that is the ultimate trigger phrase. It's a macro-level, universal debate designed purely to agitate this specific streamer who is very well known for his allegiance in that rivalry. But then, the hater pivots straight to the micro-level. They attack the streamer's specific habits, saying, "Why you always dancing? You're always dancing like everything's sweet." This is huge because it proves the hater isn't just a random passerby. They're an active consumer of the content, they know exactly what the streamer does on camera, and they are ruthlessly using that intimate knowledge against him.
And then we hit the absolute peak of the verbal assault. Look at this specific wordplay. The hater mocks the streamer's handle to imply he's selfish, saying, "No, don't listen to Speed. This guy's iShowMe. This guy's the opposite." They're literally twisting the creator's online moniker to paint him as egotistical, iShowMe. I mean, that's actually a pretty sharp, premeditated piece of rhetoric. This level of specificity is exactly what makes internet hate so unique. It's deeply personal and completely cloaked in the inside jokes of the community. So at this point, the streamer realizes, okay, the bluff failed. The hater is absolutely thriving with the mic, and the streamer has to immediately shut it down, demanding, "Take the mic back."
After the streamer demands the mic back, and the hater throws out one final claim that the streamer is washed, we enter Section 4, Processing Unprovoked Negativity, the emotional fallout, because now we get to see the emotional aftermath in real time. The streamer is visibly and verbally shaken by this. The transcript shows he immediately turns back to his core audience, staring at his chat to validate the sheer absurdity of the hostility he just dealt with. He repeats over and over, "You see that chat, you see that, you see that chat, you see that, like what's wrong with these kids?" And you know, this is a vital coping mechanism for digital creators. When the physical world gets hostile, they retreat right back to the digital world for comfort. The chat is his safety net. It's his loyal community. He's desperately appealing to them to reassure him that the interaction was crazy, that the hater was totally out of line, and that he is still in the right. It's a completely fascinating display of parasocial reliance. Finally, to close the loop on this bizarre event, he just has to rationalize it. He ultimately processes the entire encounter by defining the attacker as simply as a kid who has straight-up negativity in him, which neatly categorizes all that chaos. By labeling the interaction as just pure, irrational negativity, the streamer essentially protects his own ego. He doesn't have to sit there and reflect on whether his streams actually are boring or whether he dances too much. By concluding the kid just had negativity in him, it completely strips away any validity from the critique. It boxes the troll away into this safe category of unexplainable hostility, allowing the streamer to move on and the broadcast to keep going. It's a totally necessary psychological shield for literally anyone who puts themselves out there on the internet.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative question to ponder about the fragile ecosystem of digital creators and the audiences who watch them. When the microphone is handed over, who really controls the stream? We usually think of creators as the masters of their domain, right? The directors of the show. But as this brief, 60-second transcript beautifully illustrates, their power only exists for as long as the audience agrees to let them have it. The very second the audience takes the mic, whether literally or metaphorically, the entire dynamic can invert in a matter of seconds. It's a high-wire act, every single time they go live. Definitely something to think about the next time you tune into your favorite broadcast. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I hope it kind of changes the way you watch the digital world unfold.